If you only had 48 hours to declutter a lifetime's worth of belongings, where would you start? After turning 60, decluttering isn't just about organizing objects. It's about facing memories, old gifts, and all those just-in-case items you haven't touched in years. Today, I'll share with you the story of Margaret Thompson, 68, who has lived in Ohio for more than 4 decades. Her daughter has invited her many times to move to Texas to live together, but she always hesitated, not because she didn't want to, but because this house was filled with too much of the past. One day, she decided to step into a 48-hour race with 7 ruthless decluttering habits. Habits powerful enough to free up space, clear her mind, and open the door to a new chapter of life. In this video, you'll see how she created a deadline that forced her to finish, her secrets for handling sentimental items without guilt, and how to prevent clutter from creeping back, starting on day 1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you find this story helpful. Your support is the motivation for us to keep bringing meaningful stories and the most practical decluttering tips. Thank you for being here. Now, let's begin with the first habit. Habit 1. The 48-hour deadline. Dictator. Margaret didn't choose to declutter slowly or do a little each day. She took the wall calendar in her kitchen, circled exactly 2 weekend days, and told herself, by Sunday night, everything will be done. To make sure she couldn't procrastinate, she even called her close neighbor and invited them over for dinner on Monday evening, right in the freshly cleared dining room. The pressure of a plan she had told someone else about meant she couldn't back out. On Saturday morning as she began, she felt nervous and anxious, but the clear deadline left her no time to linger over each item. Instead of staring at a vase from 87 for 20 minutes, wondering whether to keep it, she made quick decisions. This pace helped her work faster than ever before. This trick is perfect for anyone prone to saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," or piling things up without taking action. Try setting a fixed time frame and adding a social event right after. You'll find yourself more focused and decisive. By the end of the first day, she had accomplished more than in the past several weeks combined. And that momentum carried her into day 2 with renewed energy. Habit 2. The 3 memory boxes. Massacre. On day 2, Margaret started in the bedroom, which was filled with belongings from her late husband and keepsakes from when her daughter was little. She prepared 3 large boxes with clear labels. Must-keep memories. Only items whose loss would truly hurt, like her wedding ring and a few special family photos. Maybe keep. Items she still hesitated over, like a few sentimental outfits or an old notebook. She wrote the date on the box and promised herself that if she didn't open it, in 6 months she would let it go, donate or discard now. Small trinkets, duplicates, or anything without practical use. At first, this sorting process was emotional. She often had to pause, tears welling up as she held a sweater or a handwritten letter. But with each item placed in the right box, she felt a little lighter, like she was loosening invisible strings tying her to the past. When she finished, the room felt more open. Her closet had space, and the truly precious items now sat in a place of honor where she could see them every day instead of being buried in clutter. This method lets you honor memories while creating space for new life, without the guilt of letting go. Habit 3. The ruthless replacement rule. Once most of the sentimental items were sorted, Margaret moved to the kitchen, home to many duplicates and gadgets she hadn't used in years. Opening each cabinet, she discovered she had 3 slow cookers, 2 bread machines, 4 sets of cups and 5 sets of dinner plates. Her rule was clear. Keep only the one best item in each category. The one she used most often, that worked well, and that made her happiest. All duplicates or older versions were donated or given away immediately. When holding an item, she would ask herself, if I lost this tomorrow, could I replace it within 24 hours for under $50? If the answer was yes, she knew she was keeping it out of habit or fear of what if. By the end of the morning, her counters and workspaces were tidy, and the cabinets opened without being crammed. She realized that space on the shelves wasn't a loss. It was a reward. Easier cooking, easier finding things, and a clearer vision for packing when she moved. This rule is beneficial for anyone living alone or preparing to relocate, as it eliminates the burden of just-in-case items you rarely use. If you've watched this far, the next habit may surprise you. It can double your decluttering speed without making you feel exhausted. But before we get to habit 4, I want to share another video on the channel called 15 Everyday Habits for a Clean Home. Tips for keeping your home clean. I believe you'll enjoy the tips in that video. We share small but powerful daily habits to keep your home tidy without spending too much time. You might see the video tag pop up in the top right corner right now. Find it in the description or come back to it after finishing this one, because who knows what you're looking for might be right there. Now, let's move on to the next part. Habit 4. The Speed Sorting Sprint. The garage was a place Margaret usually avoided. It was packed with cardboard boxes, old tools, and countless items she'd forgotten she owned. Instead of spending all day thinking through each one, she used the speed sorting method. She set a 15-minute timer, and for each item, she gave herself just 3 seconds to decide its fate. 4 pre-labeled piles were ready: keep, donate, discard, sell. A broken drill that hadn't worked for 3 years went straight into the discard pile without hesitation. A good set of gardening tools she no longer used went into donate. Items she knew she could sell quickly at the weekend flea market went into sell. Limiting herself to just 3 seconds per item left no room to invent excuses to keep things, and kept her working fast and engaged. After each 15-minute session, she'd take a 5-minute break to drink water, stretch, and start again. In just one afternoon, the once-packed garage had clear walkways, items were neatly sorted, and everything was ready for the next step. This method taught her that the first decision is often the right one, and speed is the key to overcoming procrastination. Habit 5. The Sentimental Sacrifice Strategy. When she opened the wooden chest at the foot of her bed, Margaret knew this would be the hardest part. Inside were hundreds of birthday cards from friends and family, more than 50 drawings from her granddaughter, hundreds of printed photos from before smartphones, and countless souvenirs from trips. This chest was like a miniature vault of memories, but also a burden that made her reluctant to move. She applied the golden limit rule: keep only the top 10% of the most meaningful items in each category. From 200 cards, she chose 20 with handwritten messages that touched her every time she read them. From 50 drawings, she picked the 5 best to frame and hang in her new home. Out of hundreds of printed photos, she kept only the clear ones tied to special memories and scanned the rest into digital format. At first, Sacrificing most of her keepsakes felt like betraying the past. But when she saw the remaining items neatly arranged and standing out, she realized she was honoring the most valuable memories instead of letting them drown in clutter. The space left in the chest wasn't a loss. It was a reminder that she was ready for the next chapter of her life. This is a powerful method for anyone stuck in too many memories, helping you keep the essence and let go of the rest with gratitude. Habit 6. The One-Touch Tornado. While cleaning the living room, Margaret recognized a bad habit she'd carried for years, picking something up, then putting it down somewhere else with the intention of dealing with it later. The result was things moving from room to room without ever being dealt with. This time, she applied the one-touch rule. Any item she picked up had to go straight to its final destination, either put away in its proper place, placed in the donate box, or tossed in the trash bag. No temporary spots, no later. An old magazine on the coffee table, straight into the recycling bin. A forgotten winter scarf on the sofa, folded neatly and put in the coat closet. A photo frame with a cracked corner, into the discard box. This rule forced her to make immediate, decisive choices, cutting down on the temporary landing zones around the house. After a few hours, the living room felt dramatically more open, with no more piles of stuff on chairs or tabletops. Margaret realized that if she kept up this habit daily, tidying would become much easier because nothing would linger in a half-done state. This simple habit has lasting effects, especially for anyone who wants to keep their home neat without constant cleaning. Habit 7. The Fortress Defense System. After finishing decluttering and preparing to pack for her move to Texas, Margaret knew the real challenge wasn't just clearing the old house. It was keeping the new house from falling into the same cluttered state. She implemented her 3 shields to protect her progress. The first shield was the door filter. Anything coming into the house, mail, grocery bags, gifts, was checked immediately. If it had no clear purpose or place to live, it wouldn't cross the threshold. The second shield was 1 in, 1 out. Whenever something new came in, an old item had to go, whether donated, sold, or discarded. Buy a new coat? Choose an old one to give away. Add a new book? Donate one to the local library. The third shield was the 24-hour quarantine. Any non-essential purchase went into a holding area for at least a day. During that time, she asked herself, "Do I need this? Where will it go in the house? What am I willing to remove to make space for it?" These 3 barriers ensured she not only kept her new place tidy, but also felt secure knowing she had a system to prevent clutter from returning. This was the final step that meant she wasn't just decluttering once, but maintaining a neat, comfortable living space for the next stage of life. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about transforming your living space. And as a thank you for staying with me, I'll reveal one more powerful habit. An uncommon trick that can force you to make decisions faster than ever and clear out an entire room in just a few hours. Let's move to the last habit in today's video. Habit 8. The Fire Drill Method. After completing the 7 main habits and almost finishing packing, Margaret still had 1 room left untouched for years. The guest room, where she had stored all sorts of miscellaneous items from old suitcases and unopened gift boxes to stacks of unread books and magazines. She decided to use the fire drill method as her finishing blow. She imagined if she had only a few hours before leaving the house for good, what would she take? She grabbed a large travel bag, set a 3-hour timer, and moved quickly through each room. Every item she touched was instantly sorted into 3 mental categories: keep, donate, discard. No stopping to reminisce, no long debates, only the question, do I truly need this for my new life? The time pressure eliminated the usual delay tactics and kept her focused entirely on the present. When time was up, she was surprised to see the amount she donated and discarded was double what she expected. And more importantly, she felt no regret. This drill showed her that most of what remained existed only out of habit, not real value for her future. It's a method you can use any time to break out of a stuck phase and regain momentum, especially useful before moving or when you want to finish an unfinished area fast. When Margaret sealed the last moving box and looked around her now bright, clutter-free home, she didn't just see bare walls and clean floors. She saw a journey of letting go, choosing, and preparing for a new chapter. In just 48 hours, plus the bonus habit, she had transformed a space overflowing with the past into a gentle beginning for the future. No longer hesitant when her daughter invited her to Texas, she now looked forward to living near her family, in a home where every item had a reason to stay. This isn't a story about throwing everything away. It's about keeping what truly matters and making room for what's next. Thank you for watching to the end. If you found this useful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment so we know you're here. Your support is priceless. See you in the next videos, where we'll continue creating tidy, peaceful, and meaningful living spaces together.